Did I have a television growing up? Yeah, we did. We had probably one of the first televisions styles that was out. It was a real small screen TV. And it was a round screen, but they had the tops and bottoms cut off. And one of the things that I liked watching was the Saturday night shows, you know, like Jackie Gleason's show. That was a great classic. And Life of Riley. That was a great classic. And Sergeant Bilko. And then in later years, Route 66 with Cookie Burns in it. And Efren Zimbalist Jr. And some of those earlier shows were just great. They also served as alarm clocks, because when they were over, it was time to go to bed. What were some crazy fads in school? And did you participate? Why or why not? In elementary school, there weren't really any fads. I think one thing I remember was wanting to wear some real pants instead of wearing jeans all the time. I thought it was kind of neat. Some of the kids I thought were cool wore real clothes and not jeans. Well, I guess tables kind of have reversed today, and for some time prior, but that was the thing for me. I wanted to wear some real pants and feel like a human instead of blue jeans all the time. And then in high school, in junior high, probably the biggest fad was, for us, skirts had to be, for the girls, had to be below their knees in school. And most guys would like to wear pointed-toed shoes and the pegged pants. And that was pretty much it. Black pants and loud colored shirts were in. Black t-shirts with purple shirts and black pants, black shoes. That was a big deal in junior high school. Was pretty much it. The pointed pants, or the pegged pants, and the black pointed-toed shoes. My favorite teacher was probably in high school, the art teacher, my senior year. And boy, I just cannot remember her name, but she was a short little lady. And she got married, I believe, shortly after I graduated, so her name changed anyway. But she was a real helpful teacher and friendly, and treated you as an adult. And it was fun to be in her class and fun to work with her. And I had a good time in art my senior year. That was my favorite class and the place that I liked to be in. Other teachers, there were other good teachers. I remember my first man teacher was the 5th grade, Mr. Lewis. He tried to be a hard butt. And he was a pretty good teacher, but a hard butt. I didn't really care for him a lot. Let's see, I liked Mr. Studebaker, who was my homeroom teacher in high school, one of them, and also industrial arts teacher. He was a great guy. Everybody liked him. I didn't have too much to do with him because industrial arts wasn't my favorite thing. But the art teacher, she was probably my favorite. Did you ever have a special hideaway or clubhouse? Describe it. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. It was Clarence Cathcart lived on Bagley Road, on Sprague Road actually, Prospect, I'll get it right, on Prospect Street in Berea. kitty corner from the Sportsman's Tavern, and there was a deli that was in the front part of the store, and he lived in the back part of the housing structure, and upstairs, and the garage in the back was his, and it was an old probably three-car garage with the loft upstairs. And so we ended up taking over the loft and ended up getting a hold of some old some plywood parts and so forth that were not being used by a close by builder, which is to say that probably most of it was stolen by us, but I don't think I was in on the wood thing. I don't think I helped get any of that wood, but I think I know who did. But anyway, so we closed it off inside, kind of finished it off, and made it a pretty foolproof clubhouse as far as the access from other people. And there was a window at each side, so there was a lookout, for whatever reason, God knows. About all we could do was drink beer and smoke whoopee, and we really didn't do a whole lot of that I remember. But it was kind of a neat place to be, and if nobody was around, you just kind of go hang out at the clubhouse, and eventually somebody would stop in, and then you could come up with something to do, be it productive or non-productive. But it was kind of a nice place, and it wasn't far from home. It was just on the other side of the block, so it was probably 10 minutes max walking from my house. Well, we're moving right along. I'm on page 53, so we're at least 1/4 of the way there. High school, extracurricular activities. What did you enjoy most, and what did you choose to participate in? I played football. I didn't play my senior year, but I think all the other years. And in through junior high school, I played football. Enjoyed that. I'm not sure why. I didn't play too much on the first string in high school, but in junior high I did, and still football I think is probably more fun to watch than to play. I've kind of switched things around. I used to like to play it as a real little kid rather than watch it, but in real life I think it's probably the better way around when you watch it instead of play it. It tends to hurt a little bit. But I did that, and I liked track. I ran track. I was pretty fast, and in high school and junior high, I pole vaulted. I was fairly good in pole vaulting. I had, I did 10-8 and an 8th in a junior high meet, which took second place, which gave us the Rame Junior High second place trophy for the whole meet, as far as it was a state meet, considered a state meet. And at that time, 10-8 and an 8th was pretty good, and that's what I did with a metal pole. Later in high school, I got to using a fiberglass pole, and I did much higher than that, but to be honest, I don't remember, and I wasn't near as successful as I was hoped to be, or as I thought that pole was going to help me be. And so I don't think I won any scholarships, or at least nobody told me about them. Anyway, but I did do track and did football in school. What are the nicest things I ever did for my mother and father? Well, I'm sorry to say I don't know what those would have been. Probably the nicest thing, if you were to ask them, would be something other than what I thought was the nicest thing anyway, because I know in my case what some of the things my kids have done for me, and they think is nice, even though it was, probably isn't the nicest thing. Probably I think the nicest thing would be something very simple, and but yet maybe they would have thought it was taken for granted and just thought nothing of it. Maybe something as simple as a breakfast in bed, I might think would be a great thing, but maybe they wouldn't. And such is the case with my parents. I don't know what the greatest thing, nicest thing that I could have done for them or did do for them. I'm sure I didn't do probably all that I could, and I wished I could have done more. I wished I would have had the foresight to do more. But, here again, not realizing that everything they went through is new to them, just like as I approach those years, it's new to me. Not realizing that I kind of took them for granted and didn't do all that I could or should have done for them. Even some little things that I could have done went by the wayside, and I'm very, very, very sorry for that. Did I admire a famous person? And does that person, how did that person stand out? Well, I don't know that I admired any famous person growing up. There were several sports figures that it would have been nice to be, or people with a lot of money, just like today, you think, boy, it'd be nice to be them, or have what they have. But the reality of it is, I don't think there was any one special person that stuck in my memory.